Hey guys, I got a hot topic for us today, which is how to do higher quality email marketing for real estate agents in 2021. So I want to give you a quick little outline of everything we're going to cover. This is going to probably be a little longer video than I would want it to be, so you may have to come back to it, and that's okay. I need you to get to the very end because here's what I'm going to cover. First, I'm going to cover everything that we hate about email marketing, so that we can get some clarity about that. Because what I find in the real estate industry is we're actually executing everything that we all hate. So I want us to be clear. Then number two, I'm going to go into some really important marketing principles that we need to be focusing on for our email marketing. Then number three, I'm going to dive into what we should be doing to create great email marketing that everybody would appreciate and they'd actually want and look forward to your email. So we'll dive into that, number three. And then number four, I'm going to jump into kind of some tools and some tactical strategies like, what do we do about MailChimp and this, that, and the other. So make sure you get to the very end of this video, come back, watch it, finish it. But we've got a lot of work to do. Tom has been pressing really, really hard with all of the coaching clients, and he's been saying email marketing is one of the most important marketing channels that all of us should be dramatically upping our game with. And so the question is how do we do that? Let's dive in. Let's start with number one. I'm going to look at some of my notes here because I got a bunch of stuff written down. So let's start with number one. What do we hate about email marketing so that we can be clear about it? First thing I wrote down is we hate templated, automated content. Okay, by the way, most of you are doing that. You don't like it in your inbox. I don't like it in my inbox. So why are we doing that? Number two, irrelevant or uninteresting content. Most of us are doing that too. Most of that's what the templated stuff is. You don't like it. I don't like it. That's why no one likes it. Number three, salesy and manipulative subject lines that in content. You and I both get those as realtors. We get all these companies sending us these kind of weird salesy subject line things, trying to manipulate us to open the email. And I do all the time because they're pretty interesting subject lines and I can't tell what it is. So I open it up and then I look at it and I'm like, some virtual assistant company, with, bad grammar trying to get me to hire a virtual assistant. Delete. We hate that stuff, don't you? Okay. Number four is unsolicited emails that are just straight promotional, right? Super promotional stuff. Now, we do that too. My new listing, my next open house, promotional, right? Irrelevant. Okay, so there's the fifth one that I wrote down is repetitive content that's the same. Boring, unsubscribe. These are all the things that we hate about email. Now, what do we do as real estate professionals that's repetitive content? Here's the latest stupid stat that no one cares about. Here's the same stat that you didn't care about last month. Here it is this month. Just listed, just sold, coming soon, open house. Just listed, just sold, coming soon, open house. Stupid stat, stupid stat, stupid stat, stupid stat, stupid stat. You guys get the picture? Now, I wanted to present that to you just because I want you to be like, okay, I need to get you in the state of let's get motivated to create some great stuff. So let's go to number two, which is some of the marketing principles that I want to make sure that we are focused on and that are the context for how we're going to move forward with your plan to up your game. So marketing principle number one is the principle of inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. Inbound marketing, that concept formulated by HubSpot and one of my favorite marketers, Mr. Marcus Sheridan, who wrote a phenomenal book called They Ask You Answer. Okay, inbound marketing is where we put out so much high quality content, education, information, resources, like just unbelievable education, resources and entertainment, that information then drives people to call us and want to work with us. Inbound. Okay? If you haven't noticed, I've been using the word inbound agent in a lot of my videos, and so that's what I'm trying to help you guys create. So let's go. Number 2, marketing concept is, one thing I wrote down was just that in one of my videos, we talked about the transition from being a salesperson to a real estate advisor. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video on how to become a top producer inbound agent, check that out. I just did that probably like 4 videos ago, where I really outlined the 5 topics that we need to up our game with: economics, investing, real estate finance, real estate remodel and cost, and demographics, and all the different stages of life. And so this was me kind of saying, hey, if we upped our game with our education content that really was helping people to understand how to leverage real estate to make high quality moves to improve the quality of their lives and also their wealth, if we could up our game as real estate professionals, we can move from sales agent to real estate advisor. So that concept is super important as we move forward with email marketing. Number 3 is something I'm going to do another video on moving into the business. Into the future. And the word is referability. And I want you to be thinking about what your referability. I was asking one of my coaching clients this morning, and I said, how would you define referability? And it was a really challenge for her. So I'm going to cover a video on that. But what I noticed, shout out to my client Zach Nelson in Denver, is his referability has gone way up. He's got like 7 deals in escrow right now, all from referrals, not past client repeat, right? Past client referral, sphere referral, agent referral, vendor referral, right? That's referral business. His referability's gone through the roof, and it's a lot part of the content marketing that he's been doing. So I want you to be thinking about that. The last concept in marketing, that before we move on to what you're going to do, is this concept of owned traffic. Now, I'm going to simply explain this. Mr. Russell Brunson, in his trilogy book, .com Secrets, Traffic Secrets, Expert Secrets. If you got my email from last Friday, I talked about that Expert Secrets from Russell Brunson has been a book I've read 4 times in a row in the last 60 days because it's been so valuable to me, and I highly recommend you do the same. Okay, but in that he deconstructs this concept of owned traffic. See, right now for a lot of you, you have a Facebook personal profile with a lot of friends. You've got an Instagram with lots of followers. You've got LinkedIn with lots of followers. You've got a YouTube channel, which we've been talking a lot about, with subscribers. But what Russell was saying is, that's not your owned subscriber count. You don't own those friends. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, they do. And they control the algorithm. They control, when you post content to those channels, they control who sees it and who doesn't. So what Russell Brunson was saying is that your email list, email marketing, that is owned traffic. You control that. If anything happens to Facebook, if anything happens to LinkedIn or YouTube, algorithms change for whatever reason, all of a sudden, if that's what you've been dependent on for your brand and marketing building, whoopsie-daisies. So, your list, owned traffic. This is super important. All right, let's jump into the next major topic, which is how do we develop your new version of your email marketing, right? Let's talk about this. So I'm going to start high level, and then I'm going to get down to the assignment of the tactical. So bear with me for a second here. Okay, So when I look out at the real estate industry and I look at all of the things, if I look at all the reasons why we hate real estate, it's basically everything that I see in the real estate industry is all of those, right? Templated, automated, irrelevant, uninteresting, salesy, manipulative, and tons of promotional stuff and constant repetitive, right? So it's just, that's all I see out there in the industry. So you guys remember that Mr. Jay Abraham, right? Great coach that worked with Tom for a year, who, I adore, spoke at the Elite Retreat. And he said, study your industry inside and out, then forget about it and go look at all of the other industries in the world and look for the best of the best and see what you can bring back to yours. So that's what I did. So I looked at, okay, who is the model, best in the world model for email marketing? And I landed on a guy by the name of Tim Ferriss. A lot of you know that I'm a huge Tim Ferriss fan. If you're not familiar with Tim Ferriss, not sure what rock you've been living under, but get on it, okay? He's now on he's interviewed over 500 some of the most extraordinary, smart, successful people in the world, and his podcast, commonly ranks in the top 5 of the most downloaded podcast of all podcasts in the world, pretty much every year for the last couple of years. Now, most of you may know Joe Rogan because he's also in this category, which we'll talk about in a minute. But Tim has email marketing down really, really well. And I remember it was in 2017, and he said to his audience, his community of people who listen to the podcast, and he said, hey guys, would you enjoy getting a little email from me on Friday? And he basically said, look, I will just put in the email 5 bullets, and it's just the latest interview I'm doing, maybe a blog post that I'm reading, maybe an article that I think is interesting, a nutritional supplement that I'm testing out, a technology that I'm looking in, maybe an investment. And he says, hey, would you guys like to get a little email from me with 5 bullets of some things that I'm looking at this week in your inbox? Now, he made that offer. I signed up. Right now, I think he probably has about 2 million people who signed up, opted in to get that email in their inbox once a week. So, let's deconstruct that model. How did 2 million people sign up for the email? And let's take a relationship of that to what we're doing. And let's figure out how we can implement that into our own business. One thing that I think I like a lot about the Tim Ferriss model there is he's basically saying this is relevant, right? It's like what I'm looking at right now. It's the things that I'm tinkering with, the things that I think are valuable to me and my world. There are things that I'm seeing are making a difference out there in the world. So it's him curating content and delivering his curated content to his community. That's number 1. I like that a lot. Number 2, this is where Joe Rogan kicks in. One of the reasons why people love the Joe Rogan podcast, if you deconstruct why do people like Joe Rogan? I don't think Joe Rogan's interview style is actually that impressive. So if his interview style is not that impressive, they're super long, right? So, by the way, I do like Joe Rogan, I'm a huge fan. But again, if I looked at the interview style, if any of you guys are interested in learning how to interview better, study Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss interview skills are off the charts, so much better. But Joe's gotten really good over the years. But let's go back. If we deconstruct, what do people love about Joe Rogan? What do they love about Tim Ferriss's podcast? Why do millions of people download those podcasts every single day? And one of the ingredients is variety. surprise and anticipation. Who's this? What's that? Who's this guy that Tim is interviewing? Who's that guy that Joe is interviewing? Who's this doctor? And what is that guy? What is this UFO and FBI? Like, so the variety is hugely good. Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan, neither of them are actually experts at anything. So they're curating high quality, interesting content and then delivering that content to their audience. These are the two guys that have built some of the biggest personal brands in the last decade, making gazillions of dollars, and all they're doing is curating interesting content for their audience and community. Ding, ding, ding. To see, that concept right there, I think, is what we should be trying to up our game with when we're thinking about email marketing. So here's the assignment for you. If you're following along, what is your list of topics of things that you're passionate about, interested in, that you could go and look at this list? Obviously, real estate investing, financing, remodeling, interior design, the local trends of your community, different politics and policies and things happening in your community. Then there's your interest, right? Your latest video that you're doing on your YouTube channel, maybe something that you're promoting as something, your up and coming listing, sure, is one of those things. And then there's all the other things that you're interested, that your friends, your family, those people appreciate about you, your personal brand. So when we look at this list of things that we could cover, we got a lot of cool stuff that we could be sharing. So could you be curating a nice email with really interesting, high quality variety of stuff that you can then share to your community? The answer is yes. Now, are you going to be as good as Joe and Tim Ferriss in the beginning? No. But isn't this really what true content marketing is all about? And I want to make sure, of course, you have in your email of curated points, maybe it's 5 points, maybe it's 3 points, figure out what your offering is, okay? But inside of that, you obviously are going to promote something from you, okay? So, an example, let me share with you guys really quick. I'm going to share my screen, and there we go. Let's go over here. Let's take a look. How do I get rid of that? Oh, this is... So, my friends, I created my little Patrick's 5 Bullet Friday. So look at my offering. My favorite video, my favorite podcast, my favorite interview, coaching idea from the week, script that I'm excited about, technology that I'm looking at. Now, I'm super into supplements and health for most of you that know or don't know that. And then productivity tool. So when I looked at what Tim was doing, I was like, I should probably do the same. So my friends, if, by the way, please, I will put a link to this so that you could sign up for mine, okay? And if you do, I will then, I will share with you once a week my favorite thing, right? And that would allow me to not have to worry about, if I post something on YouTube, are you ever going to see it, right? Most people won't. So that's an example. So now what is your version of the Tim Ferriss 5 Bullet Friday that you can now start promoting to your community, where you're educating and entertaining and you're curating the best content that you put your hands on, the best ideas in real estate, the best case study examples, the best investment, the best resources, the best, this is where you get to, introduce the best services in that you're using, that your clients are using, Guys, this is such a great opportunity for us to expand our content marketing strategy. All right, let's go to number 3, which is the tools and some tactical technology. So if you stuck with me this long, let's dive into what this is all about. Step number 1, I just want you to be thinking about is we've got, MailChimp, we've got BombBomb, you've got Constant Contact, but you also have this service called Convertkit. Okay, so let's talk about an important concept, an opt-in subscriber versus spam. Opt-in subscriber versus spam. Now, I want you guys to be crystal clear. We mostly in the real estate industry are doing spam, meaning that they didn't opt in. They didn't say, oh, I want your newsletter, right? Oh, I want to get an email from you. So I want you guys to be clear. Between MailChimp, BombBomb, and Constant Contact, they actually allow you to spam. They kind of say, hey, did these guys, opt in? And you're like, oh, of course they did, check, right? We just upload the list, okay? Now, it's not great for our email for us to do that. So if you've experienced some negative ramifications of that, this is why you're spamming. Okay, let's call it what it is. Now, how I knew this was I was trying to build mine on Convertkit because Tim Ferriss uses Convertkit and lots of great people use Convertkit. So I was like, oh, I'm going to use Convert because the best people are using Convertkit. And then Convertkit basically, when I was uploading my list of emails of a bunch of the agents that I know, from my database and, just all these agents that I'm aware of and, that I have, connections with to some degree. And I was uploading them into Convertkit. Convertkit's like, are these subscribers? And I, unfortunately, I have a little bit of like weird integrity. So I was kind of like, well, not really. They shut my thing down, right? And so it was really crystal clear to me that Convertkit is like, unless someone opted in, we're not going to let you send them emails. And I was like, ooh, that's interesting. They also said, hey, show me a report from your other email. Because I was like, oh, well, I've used MailChimp, and so I've sent lots of emails, and I got these guys in my database. And they're like, send us a report. And I was like, oh, no. Okay, so guys, I want you guys to be clear. Like, now, why do you think I created my offer to you guys? Hey guys, just like Tim, would you enjoy getting a little email from me on Friday? Here's some of my promises in the email, best videos, best coaching ideas, best tech, best script. I'll share, awesome and interesting things for you guys. So please subscribe. And if you like it, great. I'll keep sending it. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe and you'll be off the list. Okay? But that's why now I have to do that. So I want you to be thinking about what is your offer and what's your version of true subscriber opt-in, because that's where we want to head. Now, can you keep sending your MailChimps and your BombBomb and your Constant Contact to all the thousands of people who didn't opt in? Sure. But let's move to the next level, okay? Last thing is I want to make reference to here is a double opt-in. So, what's a double opt-in? You might have heard this term. And I think this is an interesting play for a lot of us. So, a lot of you guys, we buy cold pay-per-click leads, Facebook leads, and we build our database. We put them on listing alerts, mostly unsolicited, but we just do it anyways. So we put them on the listing alerts, and then a lot of you guys are putting them on the email newsletter. Okay, fair. Now, what's a double opt-in? A double opt-in is if I'm buying pay-per-click leads, Facebook leads, Zillow, Realtor leads, and I put them on the listing alert, and then I'm adding them to my newsletter, and I'm hoping that you are creating email with your video. And if we can figure this thing out, by the way, this will be amazing for your cold leads to help build your brand. Okay, so it's a very valuable tool. But a double opt-in, let's go back to that. This is where if you had the KCM seasonal guide, so you have the KCM seasonal winter guide and the KCM seasonal buyer's guide. A double opt-in would be, hey guys, there's this really good guide that I've created in collaboration with an amazing company on economics and what's going on. Click here and get your own copy if this would be interesting to you. And so with KCM, you can have a link and you can click it and it'll drop them to a form fill out landing page. And it's like name, first name, last name, email address, and submit. And if you fill out the form and hit submit, then they'll send you the guide, the white paper. That then, my friends, is what's called a double opt-in. So we got them on the first opt-in, which was the cold pay-per-click Facebook lead ad. Then we offered them something of value and interest to them that would be relevant, and then they opted in again. So I really, guys, want you to be thinking about this next level. So it's one thing for us to be kind of accumulating these cold lists and with our high quality, by the way, when you're adding a cold list to your high quality past client sphere of influence database, it does kind of cause problems with the email senders. So it is important for us to start to figure this game out where we can really up the quality of our send and receive rates through the opt-in. So I want you guys to really be thinking very clearly about what is your new content marketing offer to your community. What's the frequency of the email that makes sense to you? What are the topics that will make it more interesting, relevant, engaging, right? Adding in your YouTube video links and your latest content and your latest listing or sale, but it's only one of the many different things going on in there, okay? And then what could you be offering? Like this, the buyer seller seasonal guides just make sense. It's such an easy double opt-in. But if you maybe create a relocation guide, right? You can add that in there and create a little landing page, have them double opt in. You could create a first-time home buyer guide and have them double opt in. You could get a guide from, the guide to refinance or cash out refi or what's going on from your lender and have them do a double opt-in. So the double opt-in improves the engagement and also improves your general score for the email marketing world. So again, I'm sorry this took forever. Make sure you jump down below and sign into my 5 Bullet Friday, right? And then make sure you subscribe to my channel, please. That would be super helpful, right? And I look forward to figuring out how to help you guys on the next video. I've got one more thing I'm going to cover on geographic farming on the next session, so I hope you guys like that one. Have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.